Hey guys, I'm Coach Lauralei with Standard Pickleball Academy. We're here at Performance Pickleball in Richmond, Virginia. And today, as part of our counters, I'm going to be teaching you about the mirror rule. The mirror rule is simple. It's a rule that establishes that wherever you are on the court, you should be trying to mirror your opponent's paddle position. This means that if their paddle's high, you want yours to go low. If their paddle's neutral, facing forward, you want yours neutral, facing forward. And if your opponent's paddle is low, you want your paddle to go high. So that's 3 steps. Now we're going to walk through all 3 of them. So to get started, when your opponent's paddle is high, it typically means that someone on your team has produced a pop-up. Now this might have been a lob that was a little bit too shallow, this might have been a failed dink attempt. Whatever it was, it leads to your opponents having a high paddle. If this is the situation you're stuck in, what you want to do is you want to get into a defensive position and get your paddle low. This is because if their paddle's high, the ball trajectory is likely to go down. You want to cheat a little bit low so that you don't have to really quickly adjust your paddle from up here when you see where it's going. It gives you a little bit of that edge. So now, Coach David and I are going to show you what this looks like in action. So as you can see there, when I popped up a dink, I immediately got low and dropped my paddle. This allowed me to save time when David attacked my dink that I left a little high. So rule 2, when your opponent's paddle is neutral, you want your paddle to be neutral as well. This is really helpful on counters. If you're in a hands battle and you see that your opponent's about to counter a ball from right here, you want your paddle up and ready right in front of you to match theirs. This is because the ball trajectory off their paddle is likely to be a straight line, so you don't want to have to course correct from a paddle that's left too low or a paddle that's left too high. So now we'll show you what that looks like in action. So as you can see there, when I decided to pick a battle, I immediately got my paddle into a neutral position. And that way, when David and I got into that hands battle, we could go back and forth like this on either side without ever having to take a detour to a low paddle position or a high paddle position. That would have decreased our reaction time. All right, now for the final rule. This is the fun one. If your opponent pops up a ball, you want to get your paddle up high. So the good sign for this typically is, let's say your opponent and you are dinking, you see their paddle go low in an awkward position, you can preemptively get your paddle a little bit high because you know, again, from the paddle positioning, that the ball's trajectory is going to be up. So this is really good if you are on the offense and your opponents are on the defense. Sometimes this is when they're in the midcourt, sometimes they're already at the kitchen line, they've just produced a pop-up. But you're allowed to cheat a little bit early to get your paddle up to save you some time. So now we'll show you what it looks like in action. Okay. So as you can see there, when I saw that I had pushed David off the line a little bit and gotten him into a position where his paddle was down and a little open, I stepped up to the line and got my paddle high, ready to counter down on whatever ball he produced. This is because there's really only one place for his ball to go when his paddle face is open like that and facing and low. So these 3 rules are going to help your counters a lot. Remember, if your paddle is low and your opponent's paddle is high, that's in a good mirrored position. If your opponent's paddle straight up, you want your paddle straight up too. So again, you're in a mirrored position, it's going to speed up your hands. And finally, if your opponent's paddle's low, you want yours to get high to be able to put away whatever pop-up they produce. These 3 rules are going to improve your counters.